Benvenuti a Coffee Break Italian.
Welcome back to the Coffee Break Italian Show. Io sono Mark.
E io sono Francesca.
Come stai, Francesca?
Molto bene, Mark, grazie mille. E tu, come va?
Benissimo, tutto bene, grazie.
Ok.
This is, of course, the Coffee Break Italian Show, and in these weekly episodes, we're helping you build your knowledge of the Italian language one coffee break at a time.
Sì, è vero. So don't forget to subscribe to the podcast feed wherever you are receiving your podcast, or if you're watching the video, you can also subscribe to our channel here on YouTube.
Allora, Francesca, cosa facciamo oggi?
Oggi parliamo un po' di fonetica, di pronuncia e ci concentriamo sui suoni che producono le lettere C e G.
Okay, so a little explanation if you didn't quite get all of that. We're looking at the letters C and G
Sì,
and the sounds that these letters make.
esatto.
Cominciamo?
Cominciamo, sì.
So there are two main possible sounds for C and G in Italian.
Esatto. This is because both the letter C and the letter G can produce a soft or a hard sound depending on what comes after. And it's usually, obviously, a vowel,
A vowel.
unless it's the letter H.
Okay, so let's think about this. What about the word for house?
Casa.
So it's a hard K sound.
Esatto,
Casa.
sì.
So it's followed by an A there, so it's a hard sound. And an example of G,
Gatto, ad
Gatto,
esempio.
a cat.
Sì.
Okay. Did I ever tell you about the time that my father ordered un gatto di gelato when he thought he was ordering an ice cream cake, a gâteau?
Ah,
But
no,
he ordered
non lo
an ice cream
sapevo.
cat.
Che carino.
But it's nice that because we've got a G in there, un gatto di
Sì,
gelato.
sì.
The soft G. So the soft G sound is
Esatto, G, sì, come gelato,
Mhm.
ovviamente.
and the soft C sound is going to be
C,
chi. Okay, so as in food.
sì, cibo, ad esempio,
So
sì.
we've got two hard sounds and we've got two soft sounds. Let's look at C and compare the hard and soft sounds. So C hard
C,
and C soft.
C,
Okay, and then G hard
G,
and G soft.
G.
Okay, so how do we know which sound to use when we're reading a piece of Italian? How do we know whether it's a K or a Ch or a G or a J?
Okay, this is a good question, and I hope it's useful to go through this. So, as I said, the vowel coming after is going to tell you if you need to pronounce that letter in the soft or hard way. So, if we have the vowels A, O, or U, so these are the Italian sounds, A, O, or U
Yeah.
in English, then the sound is going to be hard for both letters.
Esatto. Okay, so let's look at some examples then.
Ok, ad esempio il verbo correre,
Correre, so a hard K followed by an O, and that means to run.
sì, o curioso.
Curioso, meaning nosy.
Mhm,
A K sound followed by an U,
Sì.
so a U. So curioso, hard again.
molto bene. O gola,
Gola, so that's a G this time, followed by an O, so your throat. La
sì,
gola.
sì. O lingua,
Lingua, so another U following it there, but it's a lingua, gua,
sì.
tongue or language.
Sì, or language,
Molto
indeed.
importante.
Sì. And at the start of the video, I also mentioned the letter H,
Mhm.
which we can find quite often after C or G. And this letter also is producing a hard sound. And we have to be careful there because in other languages, it could be a soft sound, as it is the
esatto.
case for
For
English.
English, yeah. So we've got CH in English, ch, that becomes a ch. And that's where
Esatto.
it gets a little
We
confusing.
have to be careful. Ad esempio, la parola for eyes in italiano,
Occhi.
occhi, so it's spelled with obviously a double C and an H coming after. So it's not occhi, but
No.
it's occhi.
Occhi. So as soon as we see CH, we might start to think, oh, that might sound like an English ch. But no, in Italian, CH is always going to be k,
Sì.
even if there's a double C in there.
Sì, there is no doubt about that.
No doubt.
And a GH as example, ad esempio,
Unghia.
unghia,
Okay.
bravissimo. So,
So again, a hard sound there.
sì, so it's not ungia as we might think, but it's unghia.
Unghia.
Okay.
Okay.
Molto bene.
So that's C and G when they're followed by A, O, or U, or the sounds A, O, U,
Sì, o la lettera H.
or la lettera H, or the H letter. Okay.
Esatto.
So far, so good. But what about when C or G are followed by E or I?
Well, that's the other way round. So the Italian letters E, English E, or the Italian E, English I,
Yeah.
they always produce a soft sound.
Okay, so let's hear some examples of
Ad
this.
esempio, cena.
Cena, dinner.
Sì, or you have just mentioned at the start gelato.
Gelato, ice cream.
Sì.
Okay.
O il numero 11.
11. So that's CI again, and we're hearing the ch sound.
Mhm.
11.
Sì, or the word for cousins,
Cugini.
cugini. So we have the Q at the start,
Yeah.
C and U, but then we have GI, cugini.
Cugini. Perfetto.
Okay.
Okay.
Molto bene. Obviously, if there is an H before the letter E or the letter I, then it means it's a hard sound.
Yeah.
Ad esempio, chiedere,
Yeah.
chiedere, to ask.
To
So
ask,
it's
yes.
CHI.
Yep,
So the I loses its function of a soft sound,
Yeah.
but the H takes over.
Exactly. So as soon as we have an H in there, regardless of whether it's followed by an A, O, U,
Sì,
E, or
sì,
I,
sì.
it's going to be a hard sound.
Esatto, sì.
Okay.
Now, there is something important we have to consider when we have the combination of C and I, G and I, because at times we want to overstress the letter I, and
Yeah.
it's not really necessary.
I think I see where you're going.
Okay, so if we take, for example, the word for hi in Italian,
Ciao.
ciao, so there is no need to say ciao. Okay, so when we have the combination of C, I, A, for example, or other vowels, if the I is not stressed, then we can just slightly touch on it and move on.
Because its function really is to change the sound of the consonant of the C or the G.
Exactly. It's there to tell you that it's not cow, for example, but it's a ciao.
Yeah. I think sometimes what you hear very commonly when people aren't so familiar with Italian, in particular when they're talking about names, and I'm thinking of the name Giovanni.
Sì, sì.
So Giovanni, very often you hear people in English saying, oh, Giovanni.
Sì.
But absolutely, if you say Giovanni, you're going to sound like someone who's got no idea about Italian. So the I in Giovanni is only there to make the G soft.
Esatto.
So otherwise it would be Giovanni.
Giovanni. Okay.
And we don't want Giovanni, we want Giovanni. So let's hear how that would be pronounced.
Giovanni.
Giovanni. Can you hear an I in there? Don't think so. Let's say it one more time.
No, Giovanni.
Giovanni. Okay.
Sì. We only hear the I in a more stronger manner, let's say, if the letter I in those combinations is actually emphasized. So if the stress falls on that very letter. Ad esempio, the word for pharmacy or the chemists.
Farmacia.
Sì, sì. Okay. So in that case, if we slow down and say farmacia, so the chi syllable is emphasized in that case. So in that case, it's correct to place extra emphasis. But if we go back to Giovanni, the emphasis is on Giovanni, on the va syllable.
Perfect. Benissimo.
Un altro esempio is the word for lie.
Una bugia.
Sì,
bugia.
Sì.
Francesca, una domanda.
Dimmi.
One thing I'm wondering about is, would in certain parts of Italy and other places where Italian is spoken, would we sometimes hear a kind of j sound? Like, I'm thinking bugia. I'm sure my grandmother would have said bugia.
Sì, this is more common in the center of Italy, in Tuscany, maybe some parts of the south of Italy. I wouldn't say this is something that you can hear in the north of Italy. So it's more a feature of central and southern Italian. So bugia and also cinque instead of cinque. Okay. So at times we can hear the letters, so the sound j or ch being more sh, like
Good.
that.
That's good to know.
Sì, well spotted.
I think it's the kind of thing that you might hear in songs because obviously singers are from
Anche.
different parts of the Italian
Sì,
speaking world.
sì,
So
sì.
listen out for that. I think probably the suggestion, the recommendation would be stick to the j and the ch if that's
Sì.
what you're used to and if that feels more natural because it's going to
Sì.
be more understood everywhere.
Sì, but even if maybe you come from a family where Italian is
Yeah.
spoken and you say bugia, that it's equally okay
But just
and it's
don't tell them.
actually nice.
Just don't
Don't
tell the
tell, non
lies.
dite le bugie.
Okay, is there anything
Okay.
else we need to think about here?
Maybe I was thinking what happens when this combination of sounds are preceded by the letter S, which
Mhm.
is again another common pattern, another common combination.
Yeah.
Ad esempio, the word for school.
Scuola.
Scuola. So we have the CU,
Yeah.
Q, and then we just add the S in front and we keep that hard sound,
Yeah.
scuola. Maybe a little bit more challenging is when the sound is soft.
Yeah.
So we have a chi or more likely a chi sound preceded by S.
Uh-huh.
So we need to produce that sh
Yeah.
sound.
So that's where we get the equivalent of the English sound sh, as in sheep.
Sì, the
And that would be, for example, sciare, to
Sì,
ski.
sì, or dry.
Asciutta.
Asciutto, sì, 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 sì. So we have to be careful not to say, for example, asciutto,
Asciutta,
but
yeah.
it's a sh, so asciutto. So
yeah.
we lose the ch,
Yep.
and together with the s, they become a sh sound.
But there's also the situation where we've got an H involved. So, for example, I'm
Sì.
thinking of the word lo scherzo.
Lo scherzo,
A joke
sì,
or the
sì,
joke.
sì.
So that's we've got SCHE, and the E would make the C soft, but there's an H in the middle, and we've got the S beforehand.
Sì,
so
sì.
scherzo.
A lot of things to consider.
Again, with all of this, the more you get exposed to Italian, the more you listen, and the more you read as you listen. Particularly useful, switch on Italian subtitles while you're watching an Italian show, and then you'll see how the words are written as they're being spoken.
Una buona idea.
Okay, Francesca, what do you say we do a little test here for our viewers and listeners?
Sì, you know I love a test,
Absolutely,
Mark.
yeah. So why don't you come up with, let's say, 5 words,
Sì.
and we're going to work out how they are spelled.
Ok, sì, mi piace, una
Okay.
buona idea.
Dai.
Allora, sei pronto?
Prontissimo.
Ok, la prima parola è acciuga. La ripeto, attenzione, acciuga.
Okay, let's think about this for a moment. Acciuga, it means anchovy, doesn't
Sì,
it?
sì,
Okay.
buona.
Acciuga, so we've got a ch in here, so
Sì,
we know that there's going to be a CI together.
esatto.
It's quite a strong CI as well. Acciuga.
Acciuga.
Yeah, so it's a double C, I-U-G-A.
Bravissimo,
The ga at the end is
The
just
ga
G-A.
at the end, sì, and the emphasis is on the U, so acciuga. So it's not acciuga, acciuga.
How would we know that there's a double C there?
It's not acciuga,
Yeah.
acciuga.
So that the stress being on U means that what's coming before is going to be stronger. Acciuga.
Acciuga, sì.
And that combination of letters, CCIA, faccia, and so on, is
Sì,
quite
it's
common.
quite common,
Okay.
sì.
Good.
Sì.
Numero 2.
Ok, numero 2, attenzione, attenzione, la parola è scena.
Scena. Okay, let's have a think. Scena. How do we
Scena.
spell Scena? Okay, so Scena, we've got a sh sound like a
Sì.
sheep in English, and that is going to be the combination of S and C followed by an I or an E. Here
Benissimo.
we've got E, Scena, S-C-E-N-A.
Okay, so make sure there is no H in the way you have spelled this
definitely.
word. You don't need it.
And Scena means like a scene, or is it also the word for the stage of a theatre?
You could, sì,
la
sì,
scena.
sì, la scena,
Okay.
sì, 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 sì. Molto bene. Interessante la prossima parola, and we will see later why. La parola è schiena.
Schiena, okay, schiena.
Schiena.
So that's your back.
Sì.
Schiena. Okay, so very similar to Scena,
Sì.
but because it's a hard C, we know that there's going to be an H in there somewhere. So S-C-H, schiena, and the I, the purpose of the I there, Well, it's to make a little bit of a y sound in there. Schiena.
Sì, because otherwise it would be
Schiena,
schena, so
which
it's a
sounds-
different word,
Yep.
schena, but we want to say
Schiena.
schiena.
Okay, so schiena, Schiena.
Molto bene, bravissimo. That's a tricky one. Well done. I'm impressed. Ok, la prossima parola è magia. Magia.
Magia. Okay, so we've got a j sound, and that j sound is going to be made up of a G and an I.
Mhm.
And this time we're seeing that pronounced. It's not magia,
Sì.
it's magia.
Sì.
So magia.
Sì, and here we can really emphasize that I because that's where the stress falls.
Yeah.
Magia.
And if we were comparing that to the word for the month of May, maggio.
Sì.
So that's not maggio or
Uh-huh.
anything like that, but the strong sound is coming before maggio.
Sì.
So that's why we're seeing double G-I-O.
Mhm,
Ok.
perfetto.
Okay.
L'ultima parola, visto che l'ultima è, è una parolona
That's a big word, okay.
ed è un verbo,
Mhm.
ok? Attenzione allo spelling. Chiacchierare. Lo ripeto.
Chiacchierare.
Chiacchierare. It's a lovely word, I
It
must
is
say.
one of my favorites. Chiacchierare. It means to chat.
Sì.
Okay, so chiacchierare.
Mhm.
So the start of this word, obviously it's going to start with C, but it's a k sound.
Mhm.
So we need to make sure there is, well, it's followed by a y instead of
Sì.
chiacchierare. So we need to make sure there's an H in there.
Mhm.
Chia, C-H-I-A.
Sì.
Chiacchierare,
Mhm.
double C.
Molto bene.
And it's still a strong C, so chiacchierare, C-C-H.
Sì.
Chiacchierare, I-E,
Mhm.
R,
Sì.
A-R-E.
Bravissimo, chiacchierare, top marks. This one was quite challenging. Well done.
So we hope you've enjoyed this little practice on C's and G's and all the combination of letters along with them.
Sì.
Of course, one of the things about anything, any episode, any lesson on pronunciation is that it's really useful to see the words written down. So we've put together a blog article which will help you get to grips with all of this and particularly see how these words are written. And there's a link in the description of this podcast to that article.
Sì, and you can also get more help with your Italian by signing up for our regular free email lessons. And for that, just visit coffeebreaklanguages.com/Italian.
Perfetto. And you can look forward to that in your inbox very soon. Allora, Francesca, è tutto?
Sì, è tutto. Ancora complimenti, Mark, perché sei stato bravissimo, secondo me, in questo episodio.
E anche i nostri ascoltatori.
Sicuramente anche voi. Fatemi sapere com'è andato l'esercizio di spelling.
Allora, grazie mille e alla prossima!
Ciao, happy coffee breaking!
You have been listening to a Coffee Break Languages production for the Radiolingua Network. Copyright 2024 Radiolingua Limited. Recording copyright 2024 Radiolingua Limited. All rights reserved.